Hey, what's up, guys? It's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm here with
Silver.
And Silver is going to be profiling their
TRICKSTAR deck profile.
And I'm really excited to get this one because TRICKSTAR Light Stage just came back to 3, making this deck a real contender to be able to play. And I'm really excited to see what you're playing this because you always trick out your TRICKSTARs.
I do. This is more of a run-of-the-mill build. I actually do have a branded TRICKSTAR deck profile up on my channel, so be sure to check that out later. But let's go ahead and jump on into it.
But before we do you have any shout-outs?
Shout out to, of course, Buds Plays Games for letting us record here. Shout out to DarkArmedDuelist for letting us be on the channel. And then shout out my channel. Hopefully it'll be pinned in the comments.
It will be down in the pinned comments. So definitely go check out Silver's channel. Road to 100 subscribers.
Yes, I do have one more thing to say. I do not like Orcus because of what they did to my baby.
Yeah, they kind of did, didn't
they? They did that to us.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get straight on into it.
Alright, so of course, starting off with the TRICKSTAR monsters, we do run 3 copies of TRICKSTAR Candina. This card is pretty much the Stratos of the deck, being able to search for any TRICKSTAR card on summon. However, it also has another effect that says that if your opponent activates a spell or trap card, burn them for 200 points of damage.
Oh, this is, yeah, because everything just about in this deck burns for 200.
Pretty much. Continuing on, we do run 3 copies of TRICKSTAR Lycoris. This card is this card's effect says that you can reveal this card from your hand as a quick effect, target one TRICKSTAR monster you control, special summon this card, bounce out of the card back to hand. Which
is actually kind of a neat effect to be able to do because you can just instantly get this card on your side of the field.
Really cool thing about this card also, let's say you were to open more than one and you had Candina on field. You can activate Lycoris, targeting Candina, chain Lycoris, target Candina.
Yeah.
So that way you can summon out multiple Lycorises off of one TRICKSTAR monster.
So you can get multiple copies on the field.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
This also has another effect that says if your opponent adds a card from to their hand from pretty much anywhere, burn them for another 200 points of damage.
Oh, there's the 200 again.
So 200, 200. There's one more 200 in the deck, which we'll get to, which I'm so glad is back to 3. But to wrap up the TRICKSTAR monsters, I do run 1 copy of Korribane and 1 copy of Lilybell. Korribane has an effect that says that if you control no monsters, or if you only control TRICKSTAR monsters, you can freely special summon this monster as a 2000 attack monster. But its other effect is really good. It says that if your TRICKSTAR monster is in a battle, you can discard this card from your hand to double the original attack of your monster.
Wow, that's really good.
So pretty much Candina being a 1800 becomes a 36.
That's
you get
really
over a
good.
bunch of monsters.
Yeah, because the majority of your TRICKSTAR monsters actually don't have very big attack points.
They don't.
So the Korribane helps a lot.
This gets over a bunch of monsters, and this card is actually able to be added back to hand with Lilybell. Lilybell now has an effect that says that if it is added from deck to hand except by drawing, you can special summon this card to your side of the field. It has another effect that says that if this card deals damage to your opponent, you can add a TRICKSTAR monster from graveyard to hand, but also this card can attack directly.
That's really cool.
So pretty much you can just attack. The main thing that I really like this card for is if you can normal summon this card with a Lycoris in graveyard, you can attack. You can normal summon and attack with Lilybell directly. Add back Lycoris. Lycoris effect, targeting Lilybell, bounces back. Then it comes right back down.
Because it was added back to hand.
Exactly, because it was added to hand.
That's really cool. That's a cool play.
So then you can deal 16 total, like 1600 points of damage total with just this card from a normal summon.
Wow.
And they can't really block it because it attacks directly.
Yeah.
Continuing on, I'm going to move on to the hand traps here. We do run 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring.
Best hand trap of the format.
Kind of mid actually.
Yeah, it
There's so much
is.
better. Pretty much. I would either run this or DD Crow or even Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion at this point because those cards just stop Tier Limit.
And Tier Limit is the deck to beat right now.
But talking about stopping Tier Limit, we do run 3 copies of
Yeah, there's the real hidden best hand trap of the format.
This card, this card just wins.
It does. It really does.
If they can't send cards to their graveyard, then they just can't play.
I will even say against Sprite, it really slows Sprite down too.
It really does.
Even now with Ronin Totem at 0, this card still does stuff.
It really does. Really good hand trap this format. If y'all don't have it, I would suggest picking it up immediately.
Well, you can get it out of the Crystal Beast structure deck too, as a common.
True. They did just reprint it. They also reprinted Ash Blossom, but if you really need it, Ghost Spell also just got reprinted in as well.
It did.
Really good reprints for that structure deck. Continuing on, we do run 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. This card actually does so much right now.
Oh yeah, and it's mandatory in this deck.
It's mandatory in this deck.
You've got to.
This card on its own with the trap card that you'll see later in the profile is pretty much a win condition.
It is.
Just saying that your opponent just has no cards in hands, which is amazing.
Yeah, the Trickstars are really insane with that combo because you can rip their whole hand and then just like Droll stops them from adding back.
Continuing on and moving on to my favorite card in any trap deck. 3 copies of Lord of the Heavenly Prison.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what this card does, it literally protects all set cards, whether that be spell, trap, or monster, by just revealing it until your opponent's end phase. Also, while this card is revealed in your hand and a set spell or trap card is activated, you can actually just special summon this card to set any spell or trap card from your deck.
Yeah, but it does banish them after the next end phase. It does banish them
during the next end phase, yes.
Yeah, which is still okay because you're just going to set a card you're going to immediately use. You almost forget about that clause in the card because you're going to use it.
You're going to use it. So main thing is you just want to set something you want to keep on field, like Light Stage or another card you'll see that you're going to hate me for later in the video.
Don't set Floodgates with this.
Do not set Floodgates. Definitely do not set Floodgates. I cannot stress this enough. I've done that.
Yeah.
And I've messed up. But to wrap up the hand traps, we do run, of course, 3 Infinite Impermanence. Better Effect Veiler.
It is.
So that's it for the hand traps. We're running a total of 15 hand traps.
That is a lot.
Trickstars plays a lot.
Yeah, and you only need a small engine for Trickstars anyways.
Exactly. Continuing on, we do run 3 Pot of Prosperity. I was trying to, before I got my copies of this, I could not play this deck.
Yeah.
The only way to play it was 3 copies of Mystic Mine.
Yeah.
And I do want to be toxic, but I don't want to be that toxic.
Yeah, I totally understand with the 3 Prosperity too. Like, it helps you dig into the deck so you can get to Light Stage.
It really does. It lets you get into Light Stage, it lets you get into a few other cards that y'all will see later on. Also, it gets into combo starters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, Pot of Prosperity is a must-have for the deck. I hate to say it, but it is a must-have. But continuing on, we do run, of course, 3 Trickstar Light Stage.
Let's go! There's the Light Stage back at 3.
Took long enough.
I know. Verte had to go before this card came back to 3.
So, pretty much, for those who don't know what this card does, it says that when this card is activated, you're going to add a Trickstar monster from deck to hand. It also has an effect where you can target 1 set spell or trap card your opponent controls that is in their spell and trap card column. I will say that last time I profiled this deck on your channel, I did mess up by saying you could target a set field spell. It has to be spell and trap zone.
Yep.
Somebody in the comments pointed that out last time, so if you're watching this video, I do appreciate you. And then it also has another effect that is a continuous effect that says that anytime a Trickstar monster deals damage, whether that be attack or card effect, burn for an additional 200 life points.
Yeah, that's really good.
I will hopefully get a full-on chain burn profile for Trickstars later, but I'll have to test around with that for sure. Continuing on with the field spells, y'all are going to hate me. 1 copy of Mystic Mine.
Just 1. Oh,
just 1.
No.
Those who watched my last deck profile for Trickstars on this channel, I was running 3 and 2 copies of Light Stage, but now that we have 3 Light Stage, I think only 1 Mystic Mine is required. If this gets banned, then I mean, what else can we do? I don't like this card.
You can play Necro Valley.
Talking about Necro Valley.
Oh! Okay, never mind. There it is.
So, yes, I do run the 1 copy of Necro Valley, pretty much because lots of decks, as we have already discussed, need graveyards. This just stops tier limit.
What about Zombie World?
Zombie World, that is mainly in the side deck. I don't have the side deck built, but I'm going to go over a little bit of what we could run to kind of help push the deck forward. But continuing on, of course, to search the field spells, we do run 1 copy of Terraforming. 1 copy of Set Rotation. That's actually mainly the reason why we run Necro Valley is if we're against somebody who doesn't play Tier Element or something like that. Or even if they do run Tier Element, you just slap this on their field, they're not going to want to activate it.
Yeah, and before like Ronin Totem went to 0, that card was really good.
Yeah.
You know, rip Ronin Totem.
Rip Ronin Totem. So pretty much you would either set your own Mystic Mine to your side of the field or give them Necro Valley, or you can set your own Light Stage, which is really good. And then to wrap up the field spell stuff, 1 copy of Metaverse.
Metaverse is really good too because it can help you get to any of them that you need.
I say ban Mystic Mine, give us 2 more.
Okay, I can get behind it.
I'm not asking for Terraform back to 3 because that would be broken.
I don't want set
Metaverse,
rotation either.
I think would be fair at 3.
I think set rotation to 0 and Metaverse to 2.
Set rotation's fine. Metaverse would be fine if Mystic Mind wasn't around.
I just want 2 Metaverse so I can get it with Trap Trick.
You see, that's the reason why it's at 1, because of Mystic Mind.
Yeah.
However, I think that once Mystic Mind is gone, this could easily come back to 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
Set rotation isn't a problem because if you were to activate on your opponent's turn, then, I mean, you can't flip your own card on your turn. Like on your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
So I think that this could come back to 3 if this was banned, and that's just fair, whether it be at 1 or 3.
I got you.
Like, I could see arguments to keep it at 1.
I got you.
Continuing on with the trap cards of the deck, we do, of course, run 3 copies of TRICKSTAR Reincarnation. So this card is the other card that I was talking about with Droll and Lockbird. This card practically says that you force your opponent to banish their entire hand, draw the same number.
That is insane.
So if you have...
It's card destruction.
It is.
But better.
But better because it's one-sided. Also, Reincarnation does say that... it has another effect that says that if it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to Monster Reborn, a TRICKSTAR monster.
I got you.
Which, really good. However, the main thing, I'm going to quickly go over it with the Droll and Lockbird.
Mm-hmm.
So, the main thing about this interaction is if you have, whether it be 1 Reincarnation or 2, it's better to have 2. So, what you do is you would set the Reincarnations, then you would activate 1. Then on resolution, you would chain the other Reincarnation and Droll and Lockbird. So that way, Droll and Lockbird would then resolve. Then they would have to still discard. They would still have to banish, and then because of Droll, they can't draw anymore.
I got you.
So they are locked into having no hands.
Yeah, and the other way that you can do it too, if you guys want to do it, is you can actually just set the copy of Reincarnation, and when your opponent searches, you flip them and use the Droll combo.
Exactly.
Because if they just normal summon like a Searcher or something, then it goes off.
I've seen people, no joke, run 1 copy of Yatagarasu.
Oh, no.
So they rip your entire hands with Droll Reincarnation and then just keep hitting you with Yatagarasu until...
So they can't draw.
So they can't draw.
That is disgusting.
And because, of course,
bad.
Reincarnation is a Monster Reborn, you can just summon out other monsters and then just keep punching and punching and punching and just keep going.
That is insane.
And then to wrap up the main deck, we do run 3 copies of Summon Limit.
I got you.
Because we don't summon as much as our opponents do.
Yeah, you don't. You don't in this deck. You summon like 1 Candina and then maybe a Lycoris or 2.
Exactly. And maybe if you're trying later game, you summon like Lilybell or whatever.
Or maybe Heavenly Prison.
Exactly. So really, it's not that... We don't really summon enough for this to affect us. Continuing on to the extra deck, this is mainly Ghost Reaper and Wonder Cherries targets, which are in the side deck. We're not going to show the side deck because I don't have it built at the moment, but I'll go over quickly some good cards for it. So starting off, we do, of course, run our 2 copies of TRICKSTAR Holy Angel. This card is mainly just for, as we said, the TRICKSTAR plays. Not too necessary. I do run 1 copy of Foxglove, which I would suggest running Devardis over this in testing, because Devardis literally just says, if your opponent special summons a monster, burn for 200.
Yeah.
So it pretty much punishes them for trying to overextend. Then continuing on with the Ghost Reaper targets, we do run 1 copy of Sky Striker Ace Kagari to stop, of course, Sky Strikers. 1 copy of Farajit and 1
Ominous Omen, yeah.
Mainly because I think that Tri Brigade are actually going to be better in this next format.
I could see them doing better.
There is talk about them actually doing better because Sprite got hit pretty well.
Yeah,
and
they
then
did.
Tier Element got a few slaps on the wrist. So people are talking about this deck might come back up. Also, people are playing Tri Brigade Sprite.
Yeah, that is a version of the deck you can play.
And then I do run 1 DD Abyss King Gilgamesh, mainly because we have a few people who play it occasionally at locals, and I just want to be able to stop them from being able to play very well. And this card is their main consistency card.
Setting the pendulum scales.
Exactly. So that's it for the Link monsters. Continuing on, we're going to move on to the fusions. We do run 1 copy of Intes. Pretty obvious on why. 1 copy of Makaba, because some people are talking about Invoked actually somehow making a resurgence.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure about that.
It could.
Then we do run the 1 copy of Winda, because tier limit players do run Winda.
Yep.
1 copy of Dragoon.
Because you don't want to deal with it.
Because I do not want to deal with it. And then for branded players, I do have the 1 Mirror Jade as well. I don't think I need to really go over any of these.
They're just winter cherry targets.
I will tell you all a few changes that I would make, especially for this new format. Once I'm done with this. Pretty much to wrap it up, we do run 1 copy of Nova because locals, we have like 3 Cyber Dragon players.
We have like 3 or 4 of them. I don't even know.
I just run the 1 Nova to kind of stop them from getting to infinity. And then for Synchros, I do run the 1 Herald of the Arclight because Drytron might actually make a resurgence because they just got bent into 3. And then 1 Shinshin.
Shinshin makes sense because of a virtual world.
Exactly.
And plus, sometimes you can make it in like Sword Soul.
Main differences on what I would change for the future of this, I would probably cut the Makaba and maybe the Shureg because, yes, Shureg is good, but they kind of need their fair sheet more. And I would run either Gigantic Sprite or Sprite Elf and Tearlament Kid Kalos.
Kid Kalos, yeah. I got you.
I would suggest changing those for those, but really, this whole thing is based around your locals and what you need. The main thing for the side deck is, of course, 3 Winter Cherries, and then like back row Hates, as well as Dark Ruler No More is very important as well for if you're forced to go second.
And D-Barrier and
yes, D-Barrier.
And we talked about Trap Trick too. We talked about playing Trap Trick in your side too.
You can run Trap Trick inside. You could also run it in main if you can find the space. I just kind of like the way that the main deck is built at the moment. But I'm going to keep testing around with it because we just got our light stage back to 3. So be sure to keep an eye out for some more TRICKSTAR profiles.
Yep, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys. Sylvie, got any other shout outs?
That's about it. Just be sure to check out my channel down in the pinned comment.
I got you. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys. Hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad. We'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.